Okay.
Hello, 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 everybody. So, welcome to Friday Lunch and Learn with Yvonne and Loubna. And we are here every Friday to talk to you about your career goals. And we are coming to you live from Facebook. I have to make sure I turn on my wisdom. So, we are coming to you live from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on the Wisdom app. And I just turned on Wisdom so we can get some ears from wisdom. And we are coming to you today because this is the year of the great transformation. And we want to make sure that you are ready. So, what are we talking about today, Dr. Loubna?
We're talking about how to align your values with the organizational culture.
Yeah, so we're talking to you about how to align your values with the organizational culture, and it is very important. So, if you are here and I have the chat turned on, if you're watching live, put hashtag live. And if you are watching on the replay on Facebook and YouTube, then you put hashtag replay. And Jay says that he's ready for some wisdom from his favorite
Yay!
coaches. Yes, we are executive career coaches and we are here to help you. So we're just going to get straight into it. We're not going to give you any, pre-thing. We just want to get right into it today so you can have some tools to work with. And today is April Fool's Day, so it's no fools business. This is real big. So Dr. Loubna, what do you have to say? How do you align your values and interest with the companies? I see Robert Berry is here. He says all the way live. Thank you, Robert, for chiming in. Yes. How do you?
Right.
What do you do? What do you do? You go into a company, you start working. What? Or before you go
Oh,
into a company to work, what? What do you do?
yeah.
What is this value?
Before going into any company and even before starting your job search, you want to know what your vision is and you want to know what your values are, right? You want to have a list of things that are non-negotiable for you, because when you align everything with your values, everything you do, whether it's at the personal level, whether it's at the professional level, you want to align everything with your values. Because if it's not the case, you're going to feel unbalanced, you're going to feel unmotivated, you're going to feel a drain in energy. And the first step to do is to identify those values. Okay, there are different values. There's a whole list of values. You can Google those values, but let's talk about the professional ones. For example, an important value for you could be accountability. Okay, it could be having a mission, making a difference.
Yeah, I see, Dr. Loubna, I think you are in the matrix or something. We're not getting through. So I'm just going to continue until she get back. She probably, on the VPN or something like that and not getting through. So some of the values that we're talking about also is, you go into an organization to work and their integrity doesn't align with yours. And you have to be sure that you really want to work with that kind of organization. I worked with an organization before. I'm just going to put something in the chat for Dr. Loubna to know that maybe she should try again, maybe go out and come back in again. So one of the things that I had a problem before when I worked with an organization, and I wasn't that their values didn't align with mine. It was way early in my career, and their values just did not align with mine because it was a young company, and I felt it's a startup. They need the money to pump into the company, and when a young company starts, sometimes when the managers want to look fake it before they make it, they spend the money. And I was having problems with that. So that wasn't too good for me. I didn't like the whole faking it till you make it, because they were just spending the money on some, things that they probably shouldn't be spending money on. And they weren't pumping back the money into the company. And we ran into money problems. So that's one of the value that I wasn't so happy with. And actually, that's the first time I got fired from a job. Put it in the chat here. Have you ever got fired from a job because the values and interests did not align with yours? Put that in the chat while I see if I can get Dr. Loubna back, right? Okay, so I did that, and I'm coming back to talk to my people here. So have you ever worked with a company where the values and interests did not align? Put it in the chat, something that they were doing that you were not happy with. So you have to make sure that everything aligns. You're going to write down your non-negotiables, the things that you don't want. I'm working with some senior people right now, especially when you're very senior in an organization. I'm working with some senior people right now, some senior career professionals, and they are having issues inside the organization, and they have to go back and look at, is this what I want to do? Are my values lining up? Am I miserable? Is this thing making me miserable? Right? So that is very important, because if your values and interests do not align with that of the organization, right, you always feel that you have to compromise what you believe in to achieve the progress and success of the organization. And it always feels that you are fighting progress. You don't want to feel that you are fighting every day. You don't want to go to the organization every day and feel, okay, this is not a good thing. I'm fighting here. I'm not doing good here. So that is very important, that when you get into an organization, you learn that you have to reevaluate, is this something that you want to do? And at that time, you might have to go back out and say, I am going to look for a new job. So Dr. Loubna is back with us. She probably connected on a different on something different. So she's back with us trying to connect.
I apologize.
Yes, that is fine. You know what? That is one of the things that we teach career professionals to do, that when you're online, when you're doing these things, anything can go wrong. And
Yes,
so you have to be
okay.
you have to be confident, and because we are dealing with, like, things that we
Yes.
don't. Yeah, so that's fine. And I expect some of this to happen. It has happened to me before. Stuff happens. So I was telling my career professionals that I was picking up from you, and you can pick up back from me, that when you're working with an organization and the values and interests don't align, you feel like you're always fighting process. You're always fighting somebody. And that's not a good way to live. That's not a good way for your mental health. And that is very important. So you can pick up where you left off, Dr. Loubna.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So what I was saying, everyone needs to have a list of values that are really important to them. And when people are not operating with within the area of values that are really important to them, they feel a lack of motivation, a draining in their energy. They feel that something is wrong. They're potentially in a toxic environment that's not stimulating anything around them, right? And that's a no. And many of us, I mean, we have been in such environments. And we didn't realize that the reason we were so miserable in those positions was that we weren't aligned with our values. Our values weren't aligned with what's being offered to us within that specific organization.
Right. And I was kind of telling I was telling our audience that I one of the jobs that didn't work out for me, I was actually fired. I was telling them I was just actually fired from a job early in my career. I was working with a company. It's a entrepreneurship type company. And
Mm,
they needed the money to put in the organization, but it was more like a fake it till you make it. So they were draining the money from the organization, and we were having money trouble in that organization, and I didn't feel right. So I didn't have a good experience in that organization, and that is why when you're going for a job, it has to be very important to you that you look at the
exactly.
organization and see how your values align with them. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You want to make sure that there's a good fit, cultural fit, not just the cultural fit, but also the type of projects you're working on. Are they stimulating? The type of people you're surrounded by? Because that's that's really important for you to be like feeling great every single day. And we all face challenges, right? Life is not amazing every single day, but at least when you're operating in an environment that's motivating, where people can provide support, where people are working together. And that's why you need to identify what's really important to you. If cross-functional collaboration is really important and you find yourself working for a company that that's like really toxic and they're operating in silos, then that's not the best place for you. You don't want to go there and work for 3 months and 6 months and feel horrible and then start looking for another job. So that's why always take a step back, identify your values, and do some research about the specific organization where you will be. And
Yeah,
that's what we will be talking
that's
about.
very important. Yeah, so you're going to research your organization, whether you're in the job or not. If you're in the job and you're feeling that the things are not working out, at least you're in there right now and you can know what is not working out. And you start listing, make a list of the things, the things that are important to you, right? And make a list of the kind of projects that you would like to work on or the kind of job that you would like to work on. And that is why it is very important for you to do that before you get the job. Because
Yes.
when you get the job, you're sort of stuck in there, and it's so hard for you to. You're already in a job, and then you have to look for a job. It's also very stressful, and you don't want that to
Yes.
happen. So before you find the job, I think it's a great time to start listing the things that you're looking for in an organization and the type of work that you
Mm-hmm.
want to do. And companies do look for that, because when you go for the interview, they're saying, is this person a fit? Is this person a fit for
Mm-hmm.
our team? Is this person a fit for our company? And a lot of the times when they're looking for fit, they're looking for the social skills, the EQ, so you have to look to the organization to see if they have those EQ type skills too. Are they very human? Are
Yes.
they micromanaging? Are they, are you going to be happy here? Do they have good teamwork? Does the company
Mm-hmm.
have certain values such as diversity? What do they think about, people of color? What do they think about,
Mm-hmm.
working extra hours? Are they going to pay you for the extra hours you work, or are you just going to be a workhorse? You have to think about those things because it is very, very important.
Yes. And sometimes even something as small or maybe as big as keeping promises. If it's something that's really important to you and then you find yourself in a place where they promised you that you will have a performance review within 6 months, it doesn't happen within a year, within 2 years, that these people are not keeping their promises. And the problem is that you don't find out about everything until you're working there, right? But there are ways to at least gauge if maybe 80% or 85% of what you're looking for is available within the organization. Right, Yvonne?
Yes, the keeping promises. I never even thought of that so much until you said it a while ago, and that's why it is so good for people sometimes to just listen to these things. Is the company keeping the promise? You go into a company and they say at onboarding, oh, we are going to have evaluations. Oh, this is how we operate. And I think it's a good thing to keep the company accountable, to make sure that the company, if they said that they were going to have performance evaluations, make sure that they have those performance evaluations. How am I going to be
Mhm.
evaluated? How am I going to be compensated in terms of salary increases? I've worked with a
Yes.
company in the past, way back. For years, some of those staff members did not get a salary increase. I was a
Yeah.
contractor consultant with the company, but the permanent people were going to work every year and did not get a salary increase. So when we're talking
Mhm.
on these shows, career professionals, we are saying it is very important that you have that list of the things. Talk about it with a friend, talk about it with your husband, talk about it with your girlfriend, your partner, and bounce it off some coach or something. Go research, Google values and interests. What are some of the things that I
Yes.
can think of before I get the job? Because after you get the job, sometimes it's a little too late. It's not too
It's too
late, you can
late.
always leave, but it's a little
Yeah.
too late sometimes to get the company to change, right? So that's very important. So I really
Yes,
like that you
exactly.
said. I like that because I never even thought of them keeping that commitment to you. Do they keep
Yes.
commitment? That is
Yeah.
big time.
And one of the main values that I hear sometimes from clients is related to family. Okay, does the if family is one of your top three values and your family is important to you, and you need to have your vacation time, you need to I don't know, go watch your kid play soccer or basketball or swimming, and it's really important to you, and you're not even allowed to take a day off or a half day off, that that's part of the benefits, right? I mean, these are things that are important to you, but if the company doesn't value that, then in the midterm and long term, you're going to be fed up with it. Okay, so how can you identify those values? Like I said, I mean, you cannot have 100% clear vision, but there are ways. Like Yvonne was mentioning, you can do your little research. You can go on sites like Glassdoor, read the reviews that are posted by current and previous employees. Another way to do that is to see if you have any connections within the company. If you don't, reach out to people and ask them for 5-10 minutes of their time. If they say yes, fantastic. They say no, fantastic. Okay, but at
I just
least,
sorry,
yeah.
I thought you were done. I was just going to say I just thought of something for career professionals to think about when to figure out easily what their values are. And you and I have been in a program for professional development, right, Dr. Loubna? And
Yes,
I was
yes.
just thinking about the abundance for each person. You have your
Oh,
abundance, maybe 5 or 7 things that you want to do in life to make your life abundant. And it is around when you said family, right? As you said,
yes.
what do they think about family? What do they think about time off to go and with your parents or take the children to places? What about financial things, right? Does this is this job going to provide you with financial independence or to help you reach your financial goals? And that also has to do with the promotions, right?
Yes.
Family,
Yes. Yeah.
financial,
Yeah.
health, which is another
Yes.
of the
Yes.
abundance goals, right? your health,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are they going to be able? I worked with a company before, and they subsidize the health
And
the
wellness,
health.
yeah.
Yes, when I go to Good Life, when I go to my health club, they gave 50% of that, so everybody in the company were able to get their health taken care of, and your exercise is taken care of. And when a company does
Yeah.
that, it helps you because you probably didn't think about it, you probably didn't have the money to do it, or you probably didn't have enough money, because that can run into over $1,000 a year. And if a company is going to give you, say, $500 towards it, that's a big help, and that's a motivator. And some of the
That's
health
great. Yeah.
clubs, yeah, some of the health clubs
Yeah. Yeah.
allow
Yeah.
you to pay monthly. So I found that was big time, big, big, big help. $500 towards
Yes.
your health, right?
So most pharmaceutical companies do. So I remember in the past I did an internship with Roche when they were in New Jersey, and I remember they had a fitness club on site and people were there. So they're very, yeah, like many companies are really focused on health and wellness, and they know that it's important. Like the connection between the physical, the mental, and the emotional stability, right? It's really, really important for their employees. So, yeah, all of those things are really important. And if it's important to you, then look for companies that
That
value
job.
those features. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's an easy way to think about it. Look at your personal abundance goals. What you think is going to all the different parts of your life that you need to enhance and to make abundant, right? Because if you're not
Yes.
healthy, you can't go to work. If you don't have money, you can't go to you
Yes.
can't fix the other parts of your life, right? If you're having
Yes.
family troubles at home, it is also going to affect your life. So all those things are
Yes.
very important, and at least those three, the family and fun and
Yeah.
financial and health and wellness, at least those three has to be aligned. And as Dr. Loubna said, if the
Yes.
company gives you a commitment, hold them accountable. Hold them accountable to those commitments and make sure that you get those things that they promised you.
Yes. And we talked about the balance into different areas of our lives, right? We talked about the wheel of life and how to make sure that you're constantly looking at different areas in your life, right? And making sure that they're kind of balanced. Because one of the things that we observe, me and Yvonne, when we start working with people, is that they have like very high imbalance into specific areas of their life, right? For example, maybe they have problems, financial problems, maybe they have a problem into the social relationships area, and of course the area of job and career. That's why they come to us. But you want to look at the wheel of life. Okay, you can Google it. Look at the wheel of life. There are different areas, and continuously try to have a balance in those areas, because when one of them or many of those areas are unbalanced, you don't feel happy, you don't feel motivated, you're not productive at home, you're not productive at work. So it's super important, and everything relates again to the values that we're talking about today.
Yeah. So when you write down your values and interests, remember all those core values that you have, your integrity and sense of responsibility and things like that. You want to have them. Companies are looking loyalty. The companies are looking for that. Then you also look at your life, as Dr. Lubna said, the wheel of life. And as we said, three of them very important areas: family and friends, financial stability, and I did say one, health and wellness. At least those three, there are more of them, but at least those three, you go to
Yes.
work, you want those to be in sync. How is the company going to help you to become financially independent? If you're going to be stuck into a $25 an hour job for the rest of your life, you know that's not going to work, right? Because right now you see the prices of things. You could not live on $25 a month right now. And all the senior people are making $100,000 a year right now. If you were making 100,000 last year, it's not 100,000 anymore because the inflation has taken that away. That's probably 130,000 you need right now. So you have to also look at those areas of your life. We are only here to help you, to say, touch you on your shoulder and say, have you been thinking of these things and how to
Yes.
fix them?
And Yvonne, this goes along what we've been talking about previously, which is around taking a proactive approach when you think about your job, your career, and not just your career, your life. You have to take a proactive approach, right? You cannot just, oh, just accept the job because it was offered to you or because it pays well. You want to be constantly thinking about what's going to happen, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. Is this job going to allow you to keep growing as a person, to keep growing as a professional who's making an impact within that organization, right? You want to be thinking about those things and constantly challenging yourself to think that way. Okay. And then you have the values that align. You have uh, different areas of your life that align and feel balanced. And you're going to be successful at work. You're going to make an impact within your organization. So everything is linked as long as you're conscious about what's happening and you take a conscious and proactive approach to everything you do.
Yeah, so that's very important because if you're working with an organization, for example, and they are into polluting the environment, and heartfelt down in your heart,
Mm,
you are not happy with things like that. You don't, it's so disgusting to you. You're not going to be doing a great job. I can tell you from now. You're going to be, for
exactly.
example, I'm going to give you a quick example because I always find one somewhere. And this might not be the best of examples, but when in between jobs twice in my life, I tried to sell insurance. I couldn't sell it because early in my life, when insurance salespeople used to come to me, they used to sell me equity link policies and term policies. And I studied insurance. I did the LLQP, passed it, tried to sell insurance twice, but I never believed, because I'm a really a good. I am very high on financial goals, and I'm good financially, and I'm always trying to save my money. I always say the first one that they sold me, they said when I become 65, I could cash that one out. Well, surprising, I'm already past 65, right? The thing is that most of the policies they were selling were term. And I said, I'm going to live beyond these terms. I'm going to take care of myself, and I'm sure I'm going to live past 65. And if I put money in there every month, my money is going to go down the drain because a term insurance, you don't get back nothing after the term is done. So I was thinking of those things, and I was going out to sell insurance to people. And sorry for the people who sell insurance, because insurance is very important. You got to protect
Mm,
your house, you got to protect your car, you got to protect those things. But for me, life insurance at the time was not as important to me as saving my money. So you have to know what is important to you. So I focus
yes.
on save my money and accumulate that money. And rather than think, okay, I can buy insurance and die and somebody get it. I was more focused on I can work, save my money, multiply it. And when I'm older, I have the money. I can go anywhere I want. I can go at the best hotels, and I can enjoy myself, and I can have enough to leave for somebody. So that was my value. That was my interest. That is why you have to know what your value is, what your interest is, focus on it,
Yes.
and it will happen. Now, if
Yes.
your value and interest is different, like insurance, I'm going to pump up that and get as much so that when I die, somebody can get the money because I have 66 children. That is somebody else's values and interests. So my
Yes.
values and interests might not be the same as somebody else's, right? So
Mhm,
that is why
mhm.
you have to know who you are. You are
Yes.
not somebody else. Not because your friend have these values for a job, it's going to be your values. So that is why you have to do your values and interest analysis before you start looking for a job, because your
Yes.
values and my values are different.
Yes, and each one of us knows when things are not right. Okay, so you want to listen to your intuition. You know when things are not right. You know it deep inside. You know it. So it's better that you do your due diligence ahead. It saves you time. It saves the organization time and money, because they will invest in you. It will cost them a lot of money, and organizations don't want to have a high turnover rate. It costs a lot to everyone. Okay, so yes,
So today,
values and
values and
mhm.
interest analysis. So today's going to be short. As we said, we're just talking about values and interests, but we wanted to come on to tell people how important it is to do a values and interest analysis, right, Dr. Loubna?
Yes,
So
yes,
I think you had 3 steps there. You said they do their values and interest analysis, they do their research, and they reach out to people in the
to people.
organizations and
Yes,
talk to them, right?
yes,
Why
yes,
is it
yes.
so important to talk to people in the organizations before you actually go there?
Because you know what, when you're because during the interview everyone is painting the best vision of the organization, right? I'm talking about the employers. And sometimes, and I can talk by experience, I was in a position a few years ago where, I mean, it was the worst experience of my life, and I didn't do enough due diligence, and I stayed in that job for like only a year, and the learning I had was really rough, but I learned so much from it. You know, you get to do your due diligence, you get to follow your intuition, and you get to connect to people and talk to them before you accept the job. It's really, really crucial.
So
Really crucial.
people can actually
Oh
go to
yes.
Glassdoor too, and I
Yeah,
find
and
most
Glassdoor. Yeah,
companies,
yeah.
when people are upset, they go to Glassdoor. When they're not upset, they don't put those there. So in that one
Yes.
place you can go and research companies, and companies, if you're out there, if you're on Wisdom, I know a lot of business people are on Wisdom. If you have a company and you treat people bad, trust me, you got to be checking your Glassdoor
Yeah.
reviews very often, because I've been going there, and some past employees, they don't make fun of putting things there. It doesn't mean that people are going to take everything, but if I see lots and lots of bad reviews about a company on Glassdoor, I'm going to believe it. If I see one or two, I'm going to say, okay, it
That's
could
what.
be just
Yes.
one or two people who were not happy. But if I go to Glassdoor and I see a lot of bad reviews about a company, trust
Yeah.
me, I'm going to believe that. So it is very important to do the Glassdoor reviews if you don't know anywhere else to go, and also talk to people in the company, because when you have a coffee with somebody in the company, something is going to slip.
Yes. The
Something is
truth.
going to slip.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
So that's
Okay.
very good. Do you have anything more for people today, Dr. Lubna?
No, what we said. Just do your work up front, do your due diligence, and stay connected to what's important to you. That's my main message.
All right.
And deep inside what's right from what's wrong. So
So our main message today was values and interest analysis is very important. If you didn't take away anything from our talk today, that's what we wanted to come and reinforce, because we know a lot of people are not doing it. You do
yeah,
your values and interest analysis, make sure it aligns with the companies, and your values and interests can be around your core values and your what you call that wheel again?
the wheel of life.
The wheel of life. Okay,
Yes.
because those
Yes, it
are
looks like a
what.
wheel. It looks like a wheel. It has like 8 components of life, and you can just download it and,
Yes, to check it
rate
out.
yourself. Yeah.
Google the wheel of life, and some of the
Yeah.
things that are involved in that could be health and wellness, and financial stability, and family and friends, and all that.
Yeah.
Because when you put those list those things on a, say, a paper or in a journal, underneath that you can say, what do I want in each area? You can have goals. We call them goals for each
Yes,
area.
yes,
So you
yes,
put your wheel
yes,
down, put the important points down, and put the goals for each area. You line them up.
yes,
Also, when
yeah,
you're going to the organization, you look at what the organization stands for. You look at how they
yes.
deal with people,
Mm-hmm.
diversity. You look at whether they are, you did say it, Dr. Loubna, look at their commitment. Are they committed? What do they do? Do they have reviews? Do what kind of policies do they have? Check out their policies for some of these things in your wheel, right?
Yeah,
Promotions, that's the money part, right? Health and
yes,
wellness, sometimes that's the helping to pay for your gym.
yes,
Financial too can be that they will help you with your 401k. They will give you a 401k matching, or if you're in Canada, they'll give you a RSP matching. We
yeah,
didn't say anything to you today, you're going to remember that when you're going for a job, you need to do your values and interest analysis before you even write your resume.
there we go.
There we
Yes,
go. So we are going to go out today, and beautiful Dr. Loubna came here to talk to us today, but we just want to hop on to give you some tips. These are quick tips, and we don't want to be long because we don't want you to be tired watching a whole hour things. These could
yeah,
be like half an hour tips and tricks because nobody wants to watch anything for a whole hour anymore.
yeah, no.
Sorry, anymore. So they want tips and tricks. So what we are going to do, we're going to go out today with some music. And as I said, we're
Yes,
streaming on Wisdom too. And I will probably hop back on Wisdom just to talk to
mm,
my people on Wisdom after that. After I
super.
log off, I will also log back on, and I'm going to add to the
Yeah.
stream. And where do we find Dr. Loubna again?
People can connect with me on LinkedIn. My website is advancisconsulting.com. Advancis, ADVANCIS consulting.com. Feel free to connect, and yeah, I'll be happy to connect with anyone.
So connect with Dr. Loubna Advances. So it advances, ADVANCIS consulting.com. And I'm at goalinspiredcareercoaching.com. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Clubhouse. And I also have a
Instagram.
YouTube channel called Goal Inspired Career Coaching. So you can find us anywhere. We can help you. We can give you tips. But guess what? Come here every Friday, even for half an hour, and let's just talk about this.
Yeah.
So we are going to go
Awesome.
out now, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.